The engagement party sparkled with champagne and string lights strung across my parents' backyard. My sister Brittany floated between guests in her designer dress, showing off her 3-carat ring while her fiancé Trevor smiled his practiced smile. I stood near the dessert table eating cake and watching my family celebrate. "Attention everyone." Mom clinked her glass, calling the crowd to silence. "Trevor and Brittany have chosen the most incredible venue, the Rosewood Estate. It's absolutely perfect for our girl's dream wedding." Applause. Brittany beamed. "The only challenge," Mom continued, her eyes finding me across the yard, "is the cost. $200,000 for the venue, catering, and all the details our princess deserves. But we found the perfect solution." My stomach dropped. "Olivia's house," Mom announced triumphantly. "We're listing it tomorrow. The market is hot, and we should clear at least $400,000 in profit. More than enough for the wedding, with money left over for their honeymoon in Bali." The crowd murmured approval. "Practical. Sensible." "After all," Dad added, raising his glass, "Olivia can always rent an apartment. She doesn't need all that space anyway. Family comes first." Everyone toasted. To family. To Brittany's wedding. To sacrifices made for love. I set down my cake plate and pulled out my phone, texting my real estate attorney. "They just announced they're listing my house tomorrow." Without asking, "How fast can you send the deed records?" "Rachel, to whom?" "Me, everyone at this party. All 43 guests." "Rachel, you're serious?" "Me, completely. I'd purchased the house at 847 Maple Street 4 years ago for $385,000, fully renovated it myself, and watched its value climb to $680,000. The deed was in my name alone. The mortgage, paid off 2 years ago with a bonus from my job as a data analytics director, no longer existed. But my family thought I was renting. Because I'd never corrected them." "Olivia." Brittany rushed over, grabbing my hands. "Isn't it perfect? Your house is going to give me my dream wedding. I mean, I know you love it there, but weddings are once in a lifetime, right?" "Right," I said quietly. "And honestly, it's too big for you anyway. You don't even use half the rooms. Trevor and I were thinking, after we get back from Bali, maybe we could move in there until it sells. Make sure it's staged properly." "You want to move into my house?" "Our house technically. I mean, it's family property, isn't it?" Dad said he helped with the down payment. Dad had helped with exactly nothing. I'd saved every penny myself while working 2 jobs through college, then built my career to a $240,000 annual salary. Every dollar in that house was mine. "When's the listing going live?" I asked. "Tomorrow morning. Mom already talked to a realtor. She said we could get offers by the weekend." "Oh, Olivia, thank you so much for understanding. You're the best sister ever." She hugged me and floated away, already discussing honeymoon plans with Trevor's parents. My phone buzzed. "Rachel, deed records sent to your email. Do you want me to forward them to the party guests?" "Me, yes. All of them. Include a cover letter explaining property ownership law." "Rachel, this is going to be nuclear." "Make it." I waited until the toasts were finished. Until Mom had shown everyone the Pinterest board for Brittany's wedding. Until Dad had explained how generous I was being to sacrifice my housing for my sister's happiness. Then the emails arrived. I watched phones buzz around the party. Watched guests check their screens. Watched expressions change from curiosity to confusion to shock. Uncle Jim was the first to speak. "Patricia, did you know Olivia owns that house outright? It says here she purchased it 4 years ago, paid cash, no mortgage." Mom's smile froze. "That's not, she rents. We helped with the deposit." "The deed is public record," Aunt Susan said, reading from her phone. "Sole owner, Olivia Marie Peterson. Purchase price $385,000. Current assessed value $680,000. No liens, no mortgage, no co-owners." Dad grabbed his phone, scanning the email. His face went pale. "There's a letter from a real estate attorney," Trevor's mother said, reading aloud. "It says, property ownership is a legal right, not a family negotiation. The house at 847 Maple Street is solely owned by Olivia Peterson. Any attempt to list, sell, or otherwise transfer this property without her explicit written consent constitutes fraud and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." The party had gone completely silent. "Olivia," Mom's voice was tight. What is this? It's the deed to my house. The house you just announced you're selling without asking me. The house you think belongs to the family, when it actually belongs to me. Only me. You never said you owned it, Brittany said, her voice small. You never asked. You just assumed I was renting because you assume I'm struggling. That I need your help. That my career isn't real. What career? Dad said. You work with computers or something. I'm director of data analytics at Sterling Tech. I manage a team of 47 people. My annual salary is $240,000 plus stock options worth approximately $1.8 million. I own my house outright plus 2 rental properties. My net worth is roughly $3.2 million. The silence was absolute. But you drive that old Honda, Mom whispered. Because I like it. Because I don't need to flash money to feel successful. Because I wanted to see if you'd respect me without the wealth. I looked around the party. Turns out you don't respect me even with it. You just wanted to steal it. We're not stealing. Brittany was crying now. We're family. What's yours is supposed to be ours. No. What's mine is mine. I earned it. I bought it. I own it. And you don't get to sell it to fund your fantasy wedding. So what, you're just going to let your sister's wedding fall apart? Dad's voice rose. Let her lose the Rosewood estate because you're too selfish to help family? Help family. You didn't ask for help. You announced you were taking my house. You planned to displace me, move Brittany and Trevor into my home and sell my property. That's not asking for help. That's theft. Rachel had included a second attachment in her email. I pulled it up on my phone and forwarded it to everyone at the party. I'm also sending you the police report I filed this afternoon for attempted real estate fraud. The realtor Mom contacted? She's being investigated for agreeing to list property she never verified ownership of. Mom and Dad could face charges for conspiracy to commit fraud. Mom gasped. You called the police on us? You tried to steal my house. What did you expect? We're your parents. Dad shouted. Everything you have is because of us. We raised you, fed you, put a roof over your head. You owe us. I owe you nothing. I put myself through college. I built my career. I bought my house. You didn't contribute a single dollar to any of it. And when I succeeded, you didn't even notice because you were too busy assuming I was failing. Brittany was sobbing into Trevor's shoulder. My wedding. The venue deposit is due Monday. We already told everyone. Then you should have planned a wedding you could afford instead of planning to sell my house. What's she supposed to do? Mom demanded. Have some cheap backyard wedding? Disappoint all her friends. She's supposed to live within her means like everyone else. The Rosewood estate costs $200,000. Maybe try the community center for $5,000. Plenty of beautiful weddings happen there. You're destroying your sister's happiness over money, Dad said. Over a house you don't even need. I'm protecting my property from people who decided they had the right to take it. There's a difference. Uncle Jim cleared his throat. For what it's worth, Patricia, Robert, Olivia is right. You can't just sell someone else's property. That's not how this works. Stay out of this, Jim, Mom snapped. I'm just saying, legally she owns the house. You don't. The email from her attorney is pretty clear about the consequences. Trevor's parents were already gathering their things, making quiet excuses about early mornings. Other guests followed. The engagement party was dissolving, people uncomfortable with the family drama. Within 20 minutes, only immediate family remained. I can't believe you did this, Brittany said, mascara streaked down her face. Ruined my engagement party. Humiliated me in front of Trevor's family. All because you're too selfish to help with my wedding. You did this, Brittany. Your mom and dad. By assuming you could take my house without asking. By planning my eviction like I was some problem to solve instead of a person with rights. We're family, she said again, like it was a magic word that erased property law. Family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't announce major life changes without consent. Family doesn't treat each other like their assets are community property. So that's it. Mom asked. You're just going to walk away? Let your sister's wedding be ruined. Her wedding isn't ruined. She just has to plan something she can actually afford. Like everyone else does. I picked up my purse ready to leave. Don't bother coming to the wedding, Brittany spat. You're not welcome. Not after this. Okay, I said simply. That stopped her. She'd expected me to argue, to apologize, to cave. You don't care, she asked incredulously. I care about protecting my property from people who tried to steal it. Whether that includes a wedding invitation doesn't really matter to me anymore. I walked to my car, the old Honda they'd mocked, and drove to my house. My house that I'd almost lost to my sister's wedding fantasy. The police investigation concluded 2 weeks later. No charges filed since no actual fraud had been completed, but the realtor lost her license for agreeing to list property without verifying ownership. Mom and Dad received an official warning. Brittany's wedding happened 4 months later at a Holiday Inn conference room. Cost, $8,000, paid for by Trevor's parents. I wasn't invited. I didn't go. My parents didn't speak to me for 8 months. Then Dad had a health scare and suddenly they needed their daughter who owned property, had savings, had insurance. I help with medical bills. Because unlike them, I don't withhold support to prove a point. But I never forgot the engagement party where they announced they were selling my house like I was an obstacle instead of a person. The deed to 847 Maple Street still hangs framed in my office. A reminder that ownership matters. That family doesn't mean entitled. That sometimes the people who love you most will try to take everything you've built. And that property records don't lie. Even when your family does. The house they tried to sell is worth $720,000 now. Still mine. All mine. And always will be. No wedding venue required.